Bunch of years ago, there was an interior design student. But before that, he was a decorating carpenter, something he got from his father and his uncles. When he joined the university, he was more than happy because he will pair the skill he had with the educational experience to refine that skill and make it better. Anyway, as much as he was excited, he was shocked too, surprised how much inflexible and rigid it was when it became academic. 2 rules to be followed, strict professors and pre-molded basics. In fact, following the rules was not the big issue for him. He knew he needed some basics to learn. He needed to learn how to choose the color schemes, applying the right measurements, and using the spaces. But the shock was when his passion and ambition collide with the reality of the academical applying. Well, his last few years in college were more like spending time drawing dropships, sections, and landscapes. Despite the existence of his favorite subject, which was making models, but it wasn't like he expected, because he was forced to use some specific materials and tools, and he will lose grades if he be a little bit creative and create something different. Anyway, he had no way back. He must go through that journey to be certificated. Well, that phase has finished, but unfortunately, not only the phase, even his passion. For many circumstances, interior designing was not his career's option after graduation. Many jobs and companies he worked for, many positions he filled, but none of them was related to the thing he spent years in. But still, he had that little tiny flame inside him. We can call it as a restore point. He didn't know if he will use it one day or not. Anyways, at the end he settled to be a real estate agent. And actually it wasn't that bad for him. I mean, a decent income with fine social skills and more freedom than any other domains. From that perspective, it was good, and he decided to build up his career on that. One day he had that client who intended to buy a 2-bedroom apartment. He had only one option, and he needed to close that deal. On the appointment day, the client just got into the apartment, and he went like, "I will not take it. I don't like open kitchen style." It was a really bad moment for the boy, and he went desperately praising the location, the finishing, the equipment inside the flat, but nothing was going well. Remember the restore point that we mentioned earlier? Non-intentionally, it has been activated. Suddenly, all the eyes directly to the boy, while he is describing the empty and full of echo apartment, interiorly designed and decorated, taking off some elements, taking off some walls, adding some furniture, adding some other elements. Everything was visualized for the client. He made him live inside the flat. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, he got a signed contract, and since then, everything has been changed. The conclusion of that story, that if you love something, just go with it, and don't be afraid from your thoughts if it was revolutionary. Well, let me be specific. That boy was me. And who am I? I am Nils from Decorazione, and welcome to my very first video. Welcome to the pilot. So what is this video for, and what will I talk about, and who should watch me? Let me start when I finished. Who should watch me? I hope everyone. Well, let me explain it. If you want to get rid of the routine in your place style, and you're trying to find some tips to redesign it, or maybe you are a student looking for some decision, or a designer looking for some ideas and inspiration, or simply you are someone seeking for entertainment, well, you are in the right place. Here in this platform, I will discuss with you some interior design cases. It could be anything about it. It could be element, style, or maybe a product. Since our home style could explain a lot about us, our culture, background, jobs maybe, and flares. Everything around us we will together connected with interior design and decoration, using our curiosity and observation. Please watch the video until the end, and I promise, everything gonna be clear. Let's dive into the main chapter. English interior design style. It is one of my favorite styles. I love how strong and vintage it is, a combination between high quality elements and warm cheek colors. So yes, today we'll talk about it. But since we had that long introduction, I decided to make it a little bit simple and fun. So I thought for a while. English style, simple and fun. The show of Mr. Bean. For the people who don't know the show, and I doubt that, it's a comedy sitcom was streamed in the early 90s of the past century, about a childish man trying unusual ways to fulfill his daily tasks, and that most of time caused for him and for the people around him a lot of troubles. As we mentioned before, the course site could explain about our culture and personality. On a first sight to this room, I can tell it is English. Wondering how? Thanks to the decent quantity of dark wood everywhere, which most likely are mahogany, and if they are not, well, they could be covered by some kind of patina to look darker and little bit reddish. Since the wood is the fundamental element for the furniture in this style, it also shapes the flooring in most of the English homes. Newly they are using dark parquet, which is good by the way, and I like to use it. However, most of the time the floor will be covered by rugs, kilims and carpets. Another special element about this style is patterns. You can find patterns everywhere. You can see patterns, and again patterns, covering the full surface of the walls, or maybe the most of them if they had some kind of wainscoting. Speaking of which, a full painted walls could be considered for this style. However, if you wanna go with the painted style, I have two tips for you. The first one, just stick with the neutral colors. And here I'm talking about whites, beige, browns and greys. And the second one, whenever you wanna do it, just don't do it like this. In the episode Mr. Bean in the room 426, we can see most of the elements we covered today. Here we can see the neutral colors, the patterns, the carpeted floors, and the chintz on the bed. In addition of that, there are two more points defining the style. The first one is the symmetrical objects like the sconce and the lamps here. Absolutely consider this feature when you go with the style. The second one was not there until our friend Mr. Bean installed these paintings and he stuck them on the walls. That is too English. I think I don't need to mention to add some fireplace to your room with some kind of shelf on the top. For me, it's my favorite element and I love to add it in every style, even if it wasn't English. But in case you are satisfied with your current design and you don't want to change it, but you still need to add some English touch to the place, well, add some minifigures, like the famous phone booth, the post box, the big red buses. And absolutely, don't forget the tea set. Well, that was supposed to be the end of the video, but when I was collecting the ideas and preparing the script, I thought for a while, how can I make it a little bit dynamic and interactive? So I turned my computer on and I scratched a sample room, a white sample room, which by the way you can download it from the link below. So what will we do with that sample? In fact, below the uploaded sample, on the website you can find a downloadable collection of interior designing elements. Includes walls, flooring, furniture, and more. These elements are carefully transformed and resized to fit into the sample. After you download it, you can use any kind of software to edit the room. And here I'm not talking about the giants Adobe's or CorelDRAW or any kind of similar software. Even though you can use them if you are an expert. Here I am talking about your simple office softwares. For example, you can use Microsoft Word, PowerPoint. It is simply insert photo process. Well, the fun part is that you can use any kind of device. Yes, you can use your phone or tablet. Just use any application provides the photo editing feature. Just try it. It's truly handy. However, I know that will not give you a professional results, but I can guarantee that will give you a nice experiment. But if you still need some professional thoughts and three-dimensional designs, you can contact me on Instagram to get your consultation and the highest quality with massive discount on your designs. Well, what is the design without a nice execution to be applied? In case you are living in one of these listed countries, you can also contact me and get your free consultation and the free designs if you execute your project with us. Well, that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And please don't forget to subscribe, the like and the follow. I wish you a good day. And always remember to observe well.